In this video, we shall going to build insurance analytics platform, whereby we shall going to pull the data from various sources, and then we take it to a data warehouse, a centralized location, that is the data warehouse. And then from the data warehouse, we shall going to use DBT to do the data transformation, and also build what we call the medallion architecture, where we shall going to build 3 layers, that is the bronze, silver, gold. And then after that, we shall going to take this well cleaned data into Power BI and start building the dashboard. After the dashboard, we shall going to now to use this dashboard to come up with the insights and recommendation. So let's get started. So in this project, we are going to build a complete enterprise insurance analytics platform that collects all the data, bring them together using Databricks, DBT, and Power BI. So first of all, let's try to understand the business context. So this is an insurance company. So it's called, the name of the insurance company is called InsureFlow. So InsureFlow is a fictional general insurance company operating across Kenya and is offering these kind of let's say products: the motor, health, life, property, travel, and marine insurance through a network of branches and agents. So the company's operational data is distributed across multiple independent systems. So we have some data that is stored into the policy administration system. We have some data that is stored into the claims management system. And then we have some data that is stored in billing system. And then we have some data stored in the agency management system. So this system, they operate independently, and the organization lack a centralized form of analytics reporting. So basically, here we have different system. So we have different system here. We have the first one was policy system, and then we have claim system, for example, and then we have agency system, and then we have what's the other one? Billing system. Billing system. So the data of this organization is stored into different systems. So the organization lacks a centralized location. So the organization doesn't have a centralized location where it can store all this data into this particular location. Central, let's say, location. So the operational data is distributed across multiple independent systems, and since these systems are operating independently, the organization lacks a centralized platform for analytics and reporting. So they lack this central location where they can get all their data into this platform, and from this platform where now they can use this to do the data visualization. So they can either use maybe Power BI to do the data visualization. So that's the context of the business. So we've seen the business is offering these kind of products, and their data is stored into different systems. So let's try to understand the problem here. So the problem here now, so let's assume the management want the answers of these 4 questions. Which insurance products are most profitable? So let's assume now the first question: which insurance products is most profitable? So the insurance products data is found in which system? So the insurance product, so the first question, this one, maybe the data is found in the policy system. The data to answer this question is found in policy system. And the second question is, which branches and agents generate the highest premium revenue? So the data to answer this kind of question, the data to answer this second question is maybe, let's say, is found in, let's say, agents system. Agent system. And then the third question is, how efficiently are claims being settled? So it's being asked about claims. So let's say this one. The data to answer this question is found in claim system. And the fourth question is, which region or policy types have the highest claims volume? So let's say this one. Let's just say the data is found in, let's say, billing. No, let's say policy system. Policy system. So you'll find like since the organization don't have this centralized location, that means that, let's say, the data analyst of their company will have to download the data from the policy system, and then data from this system, the agency system and claim system, and also he'll have to download the data from this, and then he will write all the complex Excel formulas to come up with a report that will answer this question. So first he'll have to download the required data from various systems and then use the Excel formulas to join these relevant data and come up with a report. So that means he will going to take a lot of time writing the formula, joining these 4 tables, and finally come up with a report. So now if, for example, the data is, let's say, large, or there's multiple, let's say, files that need to be downloaded from the system, that means this data analyst will take a lot of time downloading these files, writing complex Excel formula to come up with to join these tables, and then later on build a report. So in that connection, there'll be time consuming, the downloading and writing of the Excel formula. There'll be some error, there's some difficult to scale, especially when you're dealing with multiple files. So that means it will be very difficult to scale if you're dealing with multiple large files. And then there'll be lacking consistent business definition, because every day this data analytics will be more of like downloading the file, using the Excel formulas, and eventually come up with a report. So if you look at, these are some of the problems that this company is currently facing. So in that results, the leadership cannot get quick reporting or quick answers to this question because of these problems. So what they need, so we need to come up with a project objective. So here they need, as first of all, they need a centralized location. They need a centralized location where we can ingest all the data into a centralized location. And then, so that's number one. So number one, they need this centralized location. So they need the centralized location and ingest data from multiple operational system, and we ingest the data from multiple operation system. And then after the data is in, then now this centralized location here, we can now clean, standardize the data, do the data cleaning, do the data transformation, and making sure that the data is in the right standard, is in the right, let's say, data type. We get rid of the null values, all those kind of things. So we clean, standardize, and validate the data, and then we model the data into a dimensional warehouse. After we've cleaned our data, now we shall going to model this data in a way that it is ready for the data analysis in terms of building a data model, which will building a dimensional model, which that means will come up with things like the dimensional tables, facts table, and so later on is where now we can take this dimensional and facts table into the BI tools such as Power BI and start building the visual. So those are the kind of objectives that we need to expect. We need to come up with so that we can make sure we deliver this project. For us to deliver this project, so ingesting the data, cleaning the data, model the data, and then doing the data visualization using the Power BI. So this is the architecture system of our project, where you can see the data is coming from multiple sources and then is ingested into the Databricks. So in the Databricks, we shall going to have three categories. We shall going to have the bronze layer, silver layer, and the gold layer. So we shall going to load the data into the Databricks, and then within the Databricks, we shall going to store the data in bronze layer. So bronze layer basically is just like we shall going to store all the raw data that is coming from the systems. After our data is now in bronze layer, we shall going to take this data from bronze layer and do data cleaning, where we shall going to correct the data type, dealing with the null values, standardizing the date formats, maybe all those kind of things. So we shall going to put that data transformation into this layer called silver. And then after that, after our operational data is now clean, is where now we shall going to build the data, the dimensional data model, where we shall going to come up with a facts table and dimensional table. So in that connection, we shall going to take this facts table and the dimensional table into Power BI and start building a dashboard. And from the dashboard, we can come up with the insights and recommendation. Now let's start importing the data into the Databricks. So currently our data is in, so let's explore the data. So we have, so this is one of the table is called urgent, and then we have table customers, We have table customers here, urgent, we have claim, we have premium, we have, so these are our data, and we want to take them from currently the, so we want to take this data into the, currently they're in Excel, and we want to take them into Databricks. So for that, you'll have to create a database. So in Databricks, we normally use catalog to create the database. So you'll simply come to catalog, and then after that come to add data, and then click create catalog, and then you'll name the name of your database or catalog. So for this, let's call this one as, let's call it insurance. Let's call it insurance catalog, and then you click on create. Come to configure, and then you will scroll, and then you click on next, and then you click on save. So our insurance catalog is here, it has been created. So within the catalog, we shall going to create what we call schema. So schema is where our table will be stored. So click on the catalog, and then come to create schema, and then let's call this one also, let's just call it insurance schema. Insurance schema, and then you click on create. Insurance schema, and then click on create. Yeah, so we have the insurance schema here. So now we want to import the table to land into this insurance schema. So click on the insurance schema, and then come to create, and then come to table. Now click on browse. So let's start importing the premium table. Premium table is here, so make sure it lands into the correct catalog and correct schema, and then here you can decide to change the name of the table, but for my case I'm just going to leave it. So after that, cancel, click on create table. So our table premium is now in within the Databricks. So also click on the schema, and then come to create table, browse, then customer, then click open, and click on the create table. So our customer table has successfully landed into the Databricks, and then click on the insurance schema to import the other tables. Create table, browse, claims, table claims, and then open, and then click create table. So the table claim is here. So come to insurance schema, click on create table, browse. Now let's take urgent, click open, then click on create table. So our urgent table is also here. So I think we've loaded all our tables: urgent, claim, customer, premium, and the claims. So our table, all our table, we've loaded them into the Databricks. So we have extracted the data from the data source, and then we have loaded the data into the Databricks. Now the next step now is to do the transformation. So we shall going to do transformation using dbt. So that means we'll have to install and set up the dbt and then connect the dbt with the Databricks and start cleaning and start doing the data transformation. And then later on we shall going to take that data into Power BI and start building the visual, and we will going to use the visual to come up with the insights and recommendations. So let's install the dbt. So for us to install the dbt, we need the dbt. It has some prerequisites. So we need to install Python. We need to install Python. We need to install VS Code, and then we need to install Git, and then we need to install UV. So for us to install and set up the dbt, we need to install these prerequisites. They work hand in hand with the dbt. Let's jump straight into installing the Python. So for Python, simply go to the browser, search as Python, download, then download. So for Python, make sure you install a very specific Python package that is 3.2. We don't just install any Python. We must install a Python that will be compatible with the dbt. So here we will have to, so the Python, it's very, we need to be very specific. The Python should be 3.12. So let's search for the 3.12 Python. Yeah, because as you can see here, we have a Python, but this one is 3.146. So 3.146, though it is the latest one, but this one is not really compatible with the dbt, let's say, functions. So we need to come to this, just scroll, and then you'll meet all these versions. So search for 3.1 to 3. So for me, I will recommend you click on 3.129, because this is the kind of Python that I personally used, or I downloaded and installed, and it works super perfect. So after that, you will choose your Windows. You will choose your type of the operating system. If it's Windows, you'll come to Windows, and if it's macros and so you'll just scroll here, and then you'll find this one, the Windows installer, 64-bit. So you will simply click here, and then it will be downloaded. So since I already downloaded this one, I don't have to repeat downloading. So for your case, you'll just have to download it, and then you install this Python. So after you've installed, now you will the installation is very straightforward. You just click on it, you open on it, and then you will just follow the procedure of installing it. After that, you will come to the command prompt, command prompt, and then here you will simply type Python. So we want to confirm the version of Python that we've installed. So after you've installed, you will come to Python and try to confirm the version of Python that you've installed. So for my case, I installed 3.12. So that means we have our Python successfully installed. So we can tick, we can go to this one here and say we have installed Python successfully. The next step is to install, let's install this VS Code. So let's install VS Code. So for this, just VS Code install, and then you'll come to download this one here. So for this one, I think this one is very straightforward. This one is very straightforward, so you will simply click on this one. After clicking on that one, it will start downloading, as you can see. After it ended downloading, you will double click on it, you open it, and then you will install it. So this one also is very straightforward. You just install it by following the right procedure. So since I already installed this one, I don't have to repeat installing the same. So we have our VS Code installed. Now we can go to so we have our VS Code. This one also is installed. Now let's go to Git. So click here, come to command, write git download. So after that, just click on the first one, and this one is very straightforward. You'll just have to choose your operating system. For this one, for mine is Windows, so just click on Windows and then choose one of this. So for your case, I will recommend this one, and it will start downloading. After it finishes downloading, you will open it, you will click on the procedure, and then you will install it. Yeah, so after that, also this one also, you'll come to the command, command prompt. Command prompt. You will also try to see the kind of version you downloaded and installed of this Git. So for that, just type Git and then version, and then click on enter. So for my case, you can see this is the version of Git that I downloaded and installed in my computer. So let's tick on that also in so we downloaded this, so also let's put tick on this. And then we have this UV. For this one, you can just come to command prompt. This one we don't have to go to the browser and install it. From the browser, you just come to command prompt and then you'll click on open, and then let's just install this using the command prompt. So you'll just click on pip install UV, and then you click enter. Yeah, so you can see, so requirement already satisfied and so on. So we have the UV in our machine, we have the Python, so we've also installed UV. It's very straightforward. So after installing the prerequisite required to install the DBT, the next step now is to open the VS Code and start installing the DBT. So let's open the VS Code. So VS Code, just come to, or can just decide to search here VS Code. VS Code, click open. So after opening the VS Code, you will read to this interface. So this is the interface of the VS Code. So, but before we use the VS Code, we first of all need to create a folder that we're going to use it in this VS Code. So just come to your file explorer, come to maybe downloads. So for my folder, I want to store it in my downloads, and then come to click new folder. So I can name this my folder as, let's say, insurance DBT, let's say project, insurance DBT project, and then I click enter, and then I'll go back to the VS Code and come to file, come to open folder, and then so my folder I've put it in the downloads, so this is my folder. So I'll select my folder and then come to select folder. So now my folder is inside the VS Code. So after this, I will have to, you remember these tools, tools like Python. For Python to communicate with the VS Code, we need a Python extension within this VS Code. And also remember, DBT is also using Python to run its command. You can also use the Python in DBT to install the DBT packages. So for all those things to happen, we need to install Python extension within the VS Code. Remember, we shall going to write all the activities or the commands or the codes, the SQL queries, we shall going to run them within the VS Code. So that means the VS Code need extension of these tools. For Python, the VS Code needs extension of Python for it to work with the Python. So that means we'll have to install the Python extension. So you'll come to this area, it's called extension, and then since we want to install Python extension, you'll type Python, and then you'll click enter. So after that, you will select this one, the Python language support with extension. So click on this, and then, so in this area, if it's your first time installing the Python extension in your VS Code, this area will have something like install. So you will click on install. And once you do that, the Python extension will automatically be installed in the VS Code. So that one is clear. So after installing that, just come to this one, Explorer. So now we have the Python extension within our VS Code. So that means the VS Code and Python can now communicate. Now we can run the Python scripts within our VS Code. So the next step now is to create a virtual environment. Specific for this project. So virtual environment basically is like we are creating a room specific, a room where we shall going to install all the packages or the libraries required specific for this project. Remember, this project will involve let's say will involve things to do with let's say we'll have the dbt packages. The dbt packages will have maybe the Databricks. We're going to connect the dbt and Databricks packages. And then maybe Python and so on. Python packages that will help us run the dbt. So these packages, we shall going to put them into a specific location. So this specific location is what we call the virtual environment. Virtual environment. Because we want all the packages related to this project to be in a single place. So this single place is what we call the virtual environment. So let's create the virtual environment. So go back to this, and then after this, now we can, before we create the virtual environment, now let's close this VS Code. Let's close this VS Code. So we can close by click on here, and then we reopen it. VS Code. And then type U. So come here, type UV in it, and then click enter. Then after this, now click on UV, and then click enter. So we have created our virtual environment, creating virtual environment at. So here we have the virtual environment created. After creating this environment, now we need to activate the virtual environment. We have the currently we have the virtual environment, but we need to activate it so that it can now work just like a normal virtual environment. So for that case, we'll have to first of all come up with an activation script. But before we execute this activation script, we first of all need to kind of like asking permission to the PowerShell script, the PowerShell execution script policy. So currently we cannot run the activation, we cannot run the activation script. So in that connection, so that means we'll have to, because the PowerShell execution policy, the PowerShell script execution policy does not allow us to run the activation script. So we'll have to come up with a kind of like a command that will remove the restriction of the PowerShell execution policy. So this is the command that will allow us to remove the restriction in the PowerShell script execution policy. So write set execution policy scope current scope current user remote signed so let's confirm set execution policy scope current user remote signed. So it's more of like we are asking permission to the PowerShell execution policy. We are removing the restriction of the PowerShell execution policy for us to write the activation script and execute it so that we can activate the virtual environment. So click enter. So it has allowed us to now execute the activation query. So now let's activate the virtual environment. So in that connection, just write dot stroke. So our environment is this. So for your case, it might be different things. So make sure you enter this environment here, the dot venv. So this is for my case. For your case might be something else. So enter that one and then stroke scripts, and then you write scripts struct activate dot ps1. So after that, now you can click enter. You can click enter. So now we have successfully activated our virtual environment. Now, since we have our virtual environment activated, now we need to put all the relevant packages into this activated virtual environment. Yeah, so let's start with the DBT. So let's install the DBT packages into this virtual environment. So we're going to add the DBT. So just write UV add DBT. So we are adding the DBT. So for this, we're going to use the version of DBT called core, DBT core. So after that, click enter. So we have installed all the packages related to DBT and put them into the our virtual environment. So the next step is to install the something called adapter. Since we want to work with the Databricks, since we want to connect the DBT with the Databricks, we need to come up with something that will connect the DBT and the Databricks. So this something is what we call the Databricks adapter. So the Databricks adapter will help us connect the DBT and the Databricks. So let's also install and put the Databricks adapter into our virtual environment. So for that, just write UV add DBT Databricks. So this is the adapter, the DBT dash Databricks. So this is the adapter. So we want to install and put it into the virtual environment. So after that, just click on enter. Yes, so all the Databricks adapter packages, they are successfully installed and put into the virtual environment. After this, now we can decide to come up with to have a document that will record all the packages that we have installed into our virtual environment. So for that, you can just write UV pip freeze requirements dot text. So this is more of like a document that will a written document that will contain all the packages that we have in the virtual environment. Requirements. So click enter. Yes, I think it will be somewhere here. Yeah. So we have the document that will contain all the relevant packages. After that, now we can verify if we have really installed the DBT. So for that, just write DBT just write DBT and then if we you click enter, so it will bring all the information related to the DBT if we have really successfully installed the DBT. Yes, so you can see here, so it will give you the information about the DBT. So this indicates that we have successfully loaded our DBT into the virtual environment. So after this, we can also load our Git here. So remember we installed the Git. We can also take our Git into the virtual environment. So for that, just write git branch main, and then you click on enter, and then you write git add dot, and then you click enter, and then write git commit here, git commit m so initial commit perf, and then you click on enter. So we have also put git into the virtual environment. So now that we have all the packages into the virtual environment, now let's create the connection between the DBT and the Databricks. DBT in it, and then enter. So it will ask you the name of your project. So the name of my project, I can just call it Insurance DBT project, Insurance DBT project, Insurance DBT project, and then I click enter, and then it will ask me enter a number. So which database would you like to use? So currently I'm using Databricks. So I'll simply select one because Databricks is in number one. So number one, and then enter. So after enter, it will ask me about the host. So host, we're going to get it from the DBT. So the Databricks. So come to host, come to compute, and then come to serverless data warehouse, and then come to connection details. So in connection details, you'll have the server name, and then you'll have the HTTP path. So for our case, it was asking about the host. So you'll simply copy this, and then you'll come to the VS Code. You will paste here, then click enter, and then it will ask you about the HTTP path. You'll come to their HTTP path. So this is the HTTP path. You'll copy, and then you'll come to, and you'll paste it here, and then you click enter. Desired access token option, just use the use access token. So enter one, and then it will ask you about the token number. So for that, go back to the Databricks, and then you go to the settings here, settings, and then you come to developer, and then you come to access token, manage, and then you'll come to create new token, generate new token. So we can maybe call this token as insurance DBT token. After that, BI tools, and then click generate. So this is the token number. So copy on this, and then come to, and then you'll paste it here, paste it there. So once you paste it, it will not be, let's say, it will not be shown just like the other two that have just like the host and the HTTP you will see here. But for token number, it will not appear for the sake of security purposes. So after you've pasted there, click enter, and then it will ask you use unit catalog or not use unit catalog. So you'll click on, we are using catalog, so you click one and then enter. So it will ask you about the catalog. You'll also go back to Databricks, and then so here you can click done, and then click on catalog. So for our case, our catalog is insurance, because this is the catalog within which we have our data. So name of our catalog is insurance catalog. So just type insurance catalog, and then you click enter. It will ask you about schema. So also go back to Databricks. So here we'll have, so for schema it's insurance schema. So write insurance schema. Insurance schema. Then enter, and then here you will simply write one, and then so you can see the connection between the Databricks and the DBT is successfully created. So let's debug it so that we can be able to use the DBT. So we're going to use, as we were creating the connection between the Databricks and the DBT, there's somewhere where we have been asked about the project name. The project name, here. So this is our project name. So can simply copy this. So we want to debug this project. So come here, and then you write cd, and then you copy this name of this project, and then you click enter. So after that, now let's debug our DBT Databricks connection so that we can start using the Databricks. Let's debug. Yes, so all the connection is now okay. The extension, and then you'll search power user for DBT, this one here. So click on it, and then so once you click on it, here you'll see the install button. You'll click on it, and then this one will automatically be installed within the VS Code. So after that, just click on that and then come to Explorer. So now let's start using the DBT. And then after that, you'll see the DBT core here. So click on it. And then you'll come to troubleshooting setup extension. After that, come to just come to validate setup. Validate setup. So the project setup completed successfully. So after this, you will come to now your file explorer, and then you'll come to your local disk. And then you'll come to users, and then for my case, obviously, is this one, Eric. And then you will see .dbt. You will see a file that it has been created. .dbt, it's here, .dbt. And then you will click on profiles. You will copy, just copy, right click on it, then copy, and then you'll come to the VS Code here. You'll come to the VS Code, and then you will paste it on this one here. Control V. Yes, I want, so paste it. So we'll have our YAML file put into this one, the insurance project. But YAML file, it contains other files here, so we will have to remove the other files and only remain with the file related to this. So the file related to this is insurance. So the insurance, it starts from here up to here. So we have other files. So these are my files that I created the other day about the other projects. So let's just remove them and only remain with the one related to this project. So remove this. Also remove this. Remove this. Yeah, and then we have another one here for mini supermarket. So this one also remove it, and then we remain with this. So this is the profile YAML YAML details for this specific project. Remember, this is the details of our project, where we have the project name. So this is the project name that we've given our project. The catalog, as you've seen, the catalog was insurance, and then we have populated all these, and here we have token, and so this is the. So after this, now click on Control S so that you can save them. So I think after this we have we're going to now start building the models. So let's start building the models. So we shall going to use this file here called models. So model, we shall going to create three layers. We shall going to use what we call the medallion architecture, where we shall going to create 3 layers. Yes, so we shall going to create 3 layers. One layer will be 3 layer. So this is the model. So we shall going to create 3 layer. So one layer will be bronze, and another layer will be silver, and the third layer will be gold. So bronze will contain the raw data. So currently our data is in Databricks. So we want to take we want to use DBT to clean and model this data. So we need the raw data in the DBT, and then after we have the raw data in the DBT, then we can take it to, we can now start doing the data transformation, the data cleaning, and the data modeling later on. So all the raw data from the Databricks will be put in the bronze layer, and then all the transformation will happen in the silver layer, and then all the modeling will happen in gold layer. So let's start creating these 3 layers. So this architecture is what we call the medallion architecture. The creation of these 3 layers is what we call the medallion architecture. Medallion architecture. Yeah, something like this. So let's start creating these 3 layers. So let's go back to the VS Code. So once you open this file, you will find some funny stuffs here. So for that one, you'll have to remove them. So simply right click, and then may right click delete. Yeah, so after that, all the funny material will be deleted. So now let's start creating the 3 layers. But before we create the 3 layers, we need to create something called source. Source is basically like we are directing the DBT where the original data is currently located. So currently we know the original data is in Databricks, but we want to direct the DBT where the original data is located. So in that way, you will have to just create that source file. So create on the model, and then come to here, and then write source, and then click. Then after that, come to this, and then write source dot YAML, sources dot YAML. Yeah, write sources dot YAML, and then you click on enter. Once you click on enter, it will take you to this area. So we need to go to the online and try to get a template of how we shall going to direct our DBT to the Databricks where our original data is currently located. So let's go to online, to our browser, click here, and then search, I think it's source in DBT, and then click on the first one. Then you can scroll, and then you'll have this template. So copy this template, go to VS Code, and then paste it here. After that, remove this, the last part. We're not going to use it. And then here we will have to name this source. Also, this source is more of like general, so we need to add the latest version here. So the source, the latest version is version 2, version 2. Yeah, and then after this, the source name here you can replace, and we can call it maybe let's just call it source, just this way, and then source this way, and then database of where our current data is located. So database is the catalog in Databricks. So where is the catalog? So currently our data is in this catalog, the insurance catalog. So you can simply write insurance catalog. So insurance catalog, and then the schema is also called insurance schema. Insurance schema. So let's confirm. Yeah, insurance catalog, and then insurance schema. Yeah, and then now the tables. The tables we have our first table is agents, claims, customer, and premium. So let's go to agents, our first table, agents. We also have a table customer here. We have table customers, so I think we can leave this one. And then we have claims. So just copy this, copy this, Control C, and then here. So let's go with the claims, and then control this other one. Let's just put them near to each other. Yeah, so we have agent, customer, claims, and the last one, I think it's called premium, I think so. Premiums. So let's click on it, come to here, premiums, yeah. So let's confirm premiums, customers, claims, agents. Premiums, claims, customers, agents. Yeah, so after that, now click on Control S so that you can save this file. So that you can save this file. Control S. After that, now we have successfully directed the DBT to where our original data is currently located. So we have directed, this is the point where our original data is located, as we have given all the information related to the database and the schema and the table names. So let's now start bring the bronze layer. So after this, now come to model, just click on model, and then come to this. So let's write all the 3 layers. So let's write bronze, let's create the 3 layers, and then come to model again, this silver, we also want silver is where all the transformation will occur, and then come to model, and then click on, now the last one is gold, so click enter. So now let's start bringing the raw data into the bronze layer, because bring the raw data, this one, and we want to take it to the Databricks. Yeah, so right, yeah, so let's start with the bronze. So in the bronze, click the bronze and then come to this button here. So let's the table in bronze, label it as bronze BRC, and then let's start with the agents .sql, and then we click on. Once you write this, right select star from source. Remember, we created a source, source. So this one here you will replace with the source name. So the source name here was this one, SOS, and we want to take the table agents. So after this, now click on execute. Yeah, so we have the table for agent is here. So let's also do the other tables. So come to bronze, click here, and you write BRZ. Another table, claims dot SQL. Yeah, so here we're also going to write select star from source. So the name of source was source, the table was claims. So let's confirm in the Databricks claims. Yeah, so after this, let's execute it. So we have a table for the claims. Let's proceed to the next one. So the table for claim is now in the bronze layer. Let's proceed to the next one. Click on bronze and then come to this. Click here and then customers dot SQL, and then click enter and then right select star from source, source, and then the name of source is source, and then the table name is customers. So the table customer is also here, as you can see. So this is the table for customers. So now let's proceed to the other table. So let's confirm. So we have agent, we have claims, we have customer. Now we are remaining with the premiums. So for that, click on bronze and then come to this, then BRC premiums .sql, then select star from source, premiums, and then you click on this. So the table premium is here. So before we move to the silver layer, but there's a table that I forgot to load into the bronze layer. So the table is called policies. So for that, just come to first, let's update our source. So let's include this table also. So can copy. Yes, so we can call the, so that the table is policies. So let's confirm policies. So policies, then click Control S so that you can save. After that, now we can now bring the after that, let's come to terminal. Let's project, come to project. So we want to update our, click on project, YAML, this one is okay. Project, yeah, this one is okay. So you can also click on Control S. YAML, can also click on Control S. Then after this, let's debug this. Right, dbt, dbt debug. So we are updating the table policy into the layer bronze in dbt. So that's why we had to do some adjustment. So let's allow the dbt debug to complete. So now let's bring the table policies. So click to bronze and then click on this bronze policies dot sql, and then you right select star from source, for this one. So the name of source is source, and then the table is policies. So I hope I'm writing the right policies. And then I click on execute. Yeah, so we have the table policies here. So now we have all the table policies in our bronze layer. So now we can run the dbt so that all the table can reflect in the insurance bronze schema here. So let's run the dbt run here. Come to terminal, and then here write dbt run, then click enter. So we have run the dbt successfully. So let's go back to the Databricks and refresh this one. So you can see the table policy, it has reflected in the Databricks. As you can see it in the bronze layer, and we can see it has reflected into the Databricks. So now we have all the table in our bronze layer. So I think we can now start also now doing the data transformation in the silver layer. So let's start now doing the data transformation, and all the data transformation we are going to do it within the silver layer. So click on silver layer, come to this. So let's start with the table policy. So right, for this we can maybe call it sales, and then policies dot sql and then we click on enter. So let's start now doing the data transformation. So this is our table for the policy, this one here. So we want to transform this table so that we can, so generally we just want to transform this table. So let's start with the, so right select. So we are starting with the policy ID. I think this one is okay. So I just write policy ID, comma, and then customer ID. I think this one is also okay. Customer ID, comma, and then agent ID, this one here. I think this one is also okay. Agent ID, and then the product type. So the product type, I want the product type to start with capital letter and then the rest of the letters to be in small letters. So I'm going to use this function called in cup, init cup, and then I put the product type, and then so I can just call it, I can just alias it as product type and just call it product just the same way it has been named. Then I put comma, then I proceed to this. So this date column here, I want to ensure that it is in the right date format. So for that, I will have to use to date to date so for this is start date, so that one as can also decide to alias it as start date. Then I put comma, same to end. So let's just copy this, and then so here let's call it end. We also making sure it has the right format. Yeah, end, and then we have the final column here, which is policy. So policy, I can also make policy start with capital letter, so I can use the function init inicap into bracket and then policy status, and then I can alias it as also policy status. Yeah, so also I can calculate the duration, the policy duration days here by subtracting the end date with the start date. So put a comma here, and then I can add a new column. So we can subtract the start with the end by using date diff into bracket. So I'm subtracting end date with start date, and then so for this one I can call it maybe a policy duration days, comma. Also I can add a new column here which will give us the date and time when a new data is loaded to this table. So this column I can call it maybe so let's label this new column. So I can call it current time timestamp. So the column name, I can call it loaded at. So this new column will give us the date and time when a new column is added into this table. So after that, I can now write from and then so we are referencing it from this policy. So it's like we are taking this policy and then we are transforming it into the silver layer. We are taking the bronze policy table and we are transforming it within the silver layer. So we are referencing, so you just write ref, and then so we are referencing the bronze BRZ policies. So this is the table. So after this, now we can execute our query. So here you can see we have our well transformed policy table in the silver layer. So let's proceed to the next table. So the next table, we can start with the customer. So come to silver, let's transform customer, then click here, then SLV, it's kind of short form for silver, and then customers dot SQL. So I already created the transformation query for all these other tables. So let's copy paste the one for customers and then we execute it. So this is the query for the customers, where you can see I did some transformation here, the customer ID, and then I did the int cap lower phone. And so basically this is a transformation query for the customers table. So after that, let's click execute. Yes, so we have our table, our well transformed table for the customers. So let's proceed to the other one. So let's transform agent. So click on silver and then so SLV agent dot SQL. Yes, so we have agent for here we can write the transformation, the SQL transformation query. So I've already also created the SQL transformation query for this agent. So let me just copy paste. So this is the query where you can see agent ID, int cap for the agent name, int cap for the trim, int cap trim for branch. I have trimmed and have made sure that the capital letter start with, the first letter start with capital letter, same to agent name. And then the column for dates, I've also standardized the column for date, and then I've added the timestamp for my table agent. So let me zoom the whole query. Yes, so here you can see agent ID, int cap. I didn't transform anything in the agent ID column, and then agent name and branch I've trimmed, and I have make sure that the agent name and the branch, they start with capital letter. And then the column the date column. I've standardized the date column so that each and every row to have a date date to have. So I've generally standardized the date of this column, and then I've added the timestamp. So if I execute this, so let's execute this. Yeah, so we have the date, a well cleaned agent table, and it's in the silver layer. So let's proceed. Let's clean premiums. So click on silver, click here, and then SLV premiums dot SQL premiums.sql. So for this also, I have already created the transformation query. So let me just copy paste it. So this is the transformation query, where you can see this is the premium ID, policy ID, and then I have I've changed the data type into decimal of the amount paid. And then here I have standardized the date column of this particular, the payment date. I've simply standardized the date format, because the payment date currently it contains date format that are in data type numeric, and we have some values that are in text and some values that are in dates. So I have made sure that this column, it contains the right date format. It has the standard date format. And then I have also trimmed and make sure that the first letter of the payment method start with capital letter, and then I have added the current timestamp so that it can show us the time the data was loaded into the table. And then here I have add where clause, where I've only filtered the where the amount is greater than 0. I didn't want amount less than 0. Amount less than 0, that is more of like a negative. I didn't want negative, so I've only filtered the positive amount paid. And then I've referred this table from my bronze layer premium table. So let's execute this table together. So click on here. So our well-transformed premium table is currently here. So let's also clean the claim table. So come to silver and then click on here, SLV, and then so we are cleaning the claims table, claims. So write claims and then SQL, and then you click enter, and then we're also going to write the query for this. So for that, let me just copy paste the query, and then so this is a transformation query. So you can see this is the claim ID, policy ID, and then I've casted to decimal. So generally, it's more of like it's just the same way as some of these other tables. So for that, let's execute it. So we have our claims table. We have our claims, well cleaned, well transformed claims table. So after this, now let's first of all, let's save these tables. So click on Control S, click on Control S for that, and then you come to the policies, also you'll click on Control S, and then you come to silver, you come to silver customers, you click on Control S also, and then you come to claims, you click on Control S, and then you come to agent, silver agent, you click on Control S. So we are basically saving this table. So after that, now come to terminal, let's run the DBT. So write DBT run, and then you click enter. So our DBT has successfully completed running. So let's go to the database and refresh it. Just refresh it so that we can see if it has loaded our silver schema layer into the Databricks. So our silver schema, it has landed successfully. So you can see this is so you can see here we have the insurance schema silver. So if you expand this, so if you expand it, you will see our table. They have been successfully loaded into the Databricks: agents, claims, customers, policy, and premium. Yeah, so I think now we can proceed to the next step, that is now coming up with a gold schema. Now let's proceed to the gold layer. So in gold layer, so this is basically is a layer where we shall going to identify we shall going to build what we call the dimensional model, where we shall going to identify our table into two categories: the facts table and the dimensional table. So dimensional table, these are tables that they provide context about the business entity. So for example here, table agent is a dimensional table because it provides more information about the details of the agent. Same to customers and so forth. So this kind of table that provide more information about the business entity, these are what we call the dimensional table. And then the other table are what we call facts table. So facts table, they contain the transactions. First example of the facts table are this one, the claims. For example, claims table. This one, they contain the transaction of the business. So for example, when a customer comes and filled a claim filled a claim against the policy, that record will be recorded into a table. That table, it contains all the transaction related to the claims of that particular organization. And then premiums also, it also one of the example of the facts table, because when a customer does the repayment premiums, all these transactions are being recorded into a table, and this table is what we call the premium. So that is one example of the facts table. So let's go to the gold and start building the dimensional table and the facts table. So click on the gold, come to here. So let's start with the dimensional agent. So that is, so we can just write dime to identify that this is a dimensional table. Dime underscore agents, then dot SQL. So since this one is very straightforward, so we can just simply right select star from, so we are referencing it from the Silver agent. So refer it from the SLV agents, because this is the SLV agent, SLV agents, and then we execute this. Yeah, so we have the dimensional table for the agent here. So let's also proceed. Let's also do the other table. So we identify agent is a dimensional table. Also here we have customers here. This is a dimensional table because it provide more context about it, provide more details about the customer. So click on gold and then come to this button, and then we say dime agent, oh no, customers dot SQL, then click enter. Also this one is very straightforward, so just right select star from ref, we are referencing it from the silver customers, SLV customers, SLV customers. Yeah, and then we execute this. Yeah, so we have the table for the dimensional customers here, and also we can have policies. This is a dimensional table. Also this is a dimensional table, so come to gold, come to this button, and then we call this one dime customers, dime policies, sorry, policies, dot SQL. So dime policies is so this table comprises of combination of three table. The agent, because we're going to have the policy details, and then this policy were the policy details, and then the people who buy these policies, and the person who sold this policy. So that means we'll have some details for the customers who buy this policy, and for the agent who sold these policies. So we kind of like, we're going to have three tables: the policy table, the customer table, and the agent table. So this one, they will give us the concrete details about the policy table. So click enter, and then so there's a query I already created where I've joined three tables: the policy table, customer table, and the agent table, because we know the policy customer buys the policy and agent sell the policy. So the details of this item, when combined with the policy details, they can bring a good policy table. So let me copy paste. So this is the table that I've combined the policy table and the policy table, the policy tables, the policy table, the customer table, and the agent table, so that I can have a very concrete table of the policies. So let's execute this. Yes, so we have the table for the dime policies. So let's proceed to the next table. So the next table is let's deal with the premium. So premium, this one is a facts table because it contains all the transaction regarding the premium repayments of the policies. So let's click on gold and then this one, and then so this one is a facts table. So fact premiums dot SQL. So premium.sql. So this one will also contain a combination of the premium and the policy. So that means because this premium, they are made for policy. So that means we'll have to join the premium and the policy table for us to get a concrete premium table. So I have a query already written for this. So this is the query where I have joined the premiums table with the policy table on the basis of policy ID, and here I have selected the columns that I want them to appear in the final table. So let's execute this. Yeah, so we have a table for the premium, the facts table premiums. So let's go to the next one. So for that, come to gold, and then here. So for this we want to work on the claims. So claim is a facts table because these claims, they are more of like a transaction. Once a customer file a claim, that is like a transaction, is like a transaction for that claim. So all these transaction concerning the claims, they're being put into a single table, and this table is what will give us the facts table. So facts, let's call it facts claims dot SQL. So facts claims, this we will have to join two tables. The policy that are being, the claims, they are filed against policy. So that means we'll have to join the claims table and the policy table. So there's a query already created for this. So let me just paste it. So as you can see here, we have the select star, and these are the columns, and then from the reference of the silver claims, and I've joined the silver claim with the silver policy, and I've gotten the facts table. So let's execute this. So we have the table for claims here. So I think we have all the tables for claims. I think so. So we have the table for claims agents, urgent customers, policies, claims, and premium. But also under the gold layer, I also want to add another table specifically for dates. So this table will help us in terms of getting the insights of time with respect to the time intelligence. So I'm going to call this table maybe dates table, something like that. So in that connection, so let's create the date table. So click on gold here, and then click dime, let's call it dates table, dates table. Dates table, and then I can SQL. So here execute this so that we can get our date column, our date table. Yes, so we have our date table is here. As you can see, we have the column, we have the year, we have the quarter, we have the month, we have the month name, we have the day, we have the week, we have the weekday. So let's save all these files, and then before we take them to the Databricks. So let's start with this. Click here, and then click on Control S. And then you come to claims, click on Control S. And then you come to policies, click on Control S. And then you come to the dates table, click Control S. And then come to the customers, click Control S. And then urgent, click on Control S. So after this, now we want to take this data into the Databricks. Come to the terminal, and then so now let's run the dbt run, and then we click enter. So we have run successfully our dbt. So let's now refresh our Databricks. Let's refresh it. So the gold schema has successfully arrived in the Databricks. So let's expand it. Yeah, so we have all our table landed into the Databricks successfully. We have the emergent customer dates, and so now we can take this data into Power BI and start building the visuals. Now let's take our data into the Power BI and start doing the data visualization. So come to Power BI, and then come to get data, come to more, then here search Databricks, and then choose this one here, then click on connect. Yes, so it will ask you the credentials of your Databricks account. So the hostname and the HTTP path. So this one, you'll just come to your Databricks account, come to compute, and then click on the serverless starter warehouse, and then come to the connection details. So here we'll have the hostname and the HTTP HTTP path. So let's copy this, copy, and then come to the Power BI, then paste here, and then HTTP path, come to Databricks, copy the HTTP path here, and then paste, and then click on OK. So sometime it might not come to this this interface direct. Sometime it might ask you personal access token. So for that, you will come to Databricks for you to get the personal access token in case your dashboard, in case your Power BI has asked you about the personal access token. You'll just come to your Databricks, and then you'll come to compute. No, you'll come to here, and then you'll come to setting, then you'll come to developer, and then you'll click on manage the access token, and then you'll click on generate so you'll provide name of your access. So you can call it maybe Power BI or something. Power BI, maybe let's call it access token, and then you click here, and then you generate the access token. So once you generate, so this is the access token which you're going to use it and paste it where the Power BI has asked you. And then after that is where now you will get into this interface. So sometime when you're asked about the access token, you will do the procedure that I've shown you. And so after you've reached here, now we want to import the data of the insurance data into the Power BI. So expand this, and also remember we are only importing the gold schema, the data in the gold schema. So expand this, so just tick all of them, this, and then you click on load. So our data successfully landed into the Power BI from the Databricks. So let's build a model here. So come to model. Let's join these tables here. Here, so let's drag this one here. We take it here. Let's move this one again here. Let's take this one here. Yes, so here basically we're going to join the facts table with the dimensional table. So let's start with the date table here. So the date table, we're going to use this column and join with the date here, we shall going to join it with the date in the facts table claims. So this is, where's the date? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then click save, and then policy, date with policies, so let's join it with start date here, and then you click on and then date also going to join it with this facts premium. So facts premium, save, and then let's go to agent. We're going to join with the agent ID from the policy agent. Let's join it with agent ID from here. Yeah, so there's already a relationship here, and then customer also, we can join the customer with the customer ID here, and then we click yeah, and then now let's now start building the measures. So for that, just right click, come to measure, so let's start with total customers, customers equals to distinct count customer ID, then close, and then you, and then right click, measure, now let's go to total policy, total policies equals to count policies, dime policy ID, and then you right click on it, new measure, and then now let's only filter the active policies, count and filter the active policies, active policies, this one equals to calculate count, we are counting the policy ID, policy ID, and then policies, time policies status equals to active, where the status is equal to active, the bracket, and then we, and then let's also calculate total premium, measure, total premium equals to sum of the premium amount paid, premium amount paid, and then you close the bracket and then click enter, and then right click, and then let's also calculate the total claim amount, total claim amount equals to sum claim amount, and then we, after this we can also calculate the claim ratio, claim ratio equals to divide total claim amount, we divide it with the total premium, then comma, and then we click enter. We can also make it in percentage. Yeah, so right click, come to new measure. Now let's calculate the average settlement days. Average settlement days. That is average. Then claims days. Claim settlement days. Then close the bracket and then click enter. Yes, so we have the measures here. Now let's start building our dashboard. So come to here, and then come to text box. We are starting with the title, so let's expand here. Let's make it 28. So we are building insurance executive dashboard. Yes, so we can make it bold. Insurance. Yeah, can make it bold. Can make it blue. Can make it blue. And we can make it at the center, and then come to effects. Let's make it a shadow. Change the color of shadow. So activate shadow here. Change color of shadow to this, and we have our title for our dashboard. And then let's build the KPIs. The KPI is click on card. So the first KPI is the total customers. So click on the total customer. Total customers. So click on this. So this is the total customer. So let's do formatting for this. Yeah, so come to format, call value, make it bold. Yeah. Yeah, let's make this way, and then come to the total. Come to label. Let's make it dark black, and then we make it bold. And then come to general, put the slicer. Effects, put the shadow, and then change the shadow to just resemble the title. So here we have our KPI. So we're going to use a shortcut so that we can come up with the other KPIs. So just do copy, Control C and Control V, and then this one will be duplicated. So the next KPI is total policies. So just remove this and then you put total policies, and then copy and paste another KPI. Another KPI will be average, active policies. So remove this and then you put active policies. So these are the active policies, and then do the copy and paste. Another KPI will be the total premium. So remove this and then you put total premium. So this is the total premium. Then copy and paste another KPI. Another KPI will be maybe total claims. So remove this, then you put total claims here. So this is a total claim. Do the copy and paste. Let's have another KPI, which is the claim amount. So remove this, claim amount. No, another one would be the claim ratio. Claim ratio, where is it? It's here. Oh no, claim ratio. Let's remove this. Claim ratio. Now let's remove this. And then we okay, so that is a claim ratio. And then copy paste, and then we have the average days. So remove this and then you put average settlement. Average settlement days. So this is the average settlement days. So let's put it put this here. And then we put this one here, and then we put this one here, and then we squeeze this one here, we squeeze this, and this one there. So squeeze that one there, here, and then we squeeze now let's just put it this way. There, put this one here, and then put this one here. Yeah, and then put this one here. And let's put this one here. This one here. Yeah, and then put this one here. Yeah, and then let's put the filters here. So let's have the first filter. So come to slicer, and then slicer. So we are going to use policy type. Policy type. Do we have really policy type here? Yeah, product type. Yeah, and then for that, come to here, slicer settings. Let's make it drop down. Yeah, and then let's make the, so let's just make it so that you can fit here. Yeah, and then so background effects, background, let's change it to blue. Let's make it bluish. No, let's make it blue. No, let's just make it blue. This one, and then so this one will have, yeah. So let's come to slicer header. Let's make it bold and change the, yeah, and then values, let's make it also bold. Yeah, so after this, copy paste, and then copy paste, and then now let's replace this with let's say region. So remove this, put region. So here we have the regions, LD up to Nakuru, and then copy paste, copy paste, and then let's have another let's maybe put, let's put year here. So dates, column year. Let's remove the region, and so we have here we have up to 2026. So let's arrange them. Let's squeeze a little bit. Yeah, yeah, so now let's start building the visual. Let's start with premium by policy type. So bring column charts, column chart. So click here, and then we bring column premium by, so total premium, total premium, total premium, policy, policy policy, policy type. So here we have the premium by policy type, and then so we can do editing here. Title, we want it at the center, and then we also want it dark, and then bold. And then we remove the, come to y-axis, y-axis, so we can remove the values there, can remove the values. No, this is not y-axis, 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 remove the values, and also remove the title. Yeah, and then come to general, come to effects, shadow, and then we put it this one here. Also we can go to the x-axis here, expand it, make the value bold, and change to dark black. So this is the premium by product type. By product type, and then claim amount by policy type. So just copy, and you paste it here. Yeah, just take it this way, or let's arrange them this way. Yeah, claim amount by claim amount, so remove this. Total claim, expand total claim, and then come to policy type. Policy type, yeah, and then we copy and we paste it. We come to another chart, which is trend. Premium trend. So premium trend, this is the line chart, so remove this and put it a line chart. So month. So we want to track the claim in each and every month. So value total claim, so total claim, that this one here, and then bring dime, dates, and then month name. Month name. So let's arrange this. Come to, just click on it, and then come to month name, yeah, and then you're going to sort by month, sort by month, and then axis, sort by month name, from ascending, ascending. So this is the claim by month, and then after that claim premium by region. Also let's also find, so this one was for claim, so bring it here, copy paste. Now let's look for the premium. The premium, remove this, expand, and we calculate total premium. Total premium, here, and then yeah. So after this, come to copy and paste, and then come to premium by region. So total premium here. Now you put a bar chart, this one, and then go to region. Region, customer, yeah. So we have region, and then copy, paste, and then premium by branch. So policy branch, yeah. So this is the dashboard that we've built. So from this dashboard is where now we can get the insights, and later on we provide recommendation so that we can help the organization come up with the best decision.